party, a going away party for someone. So there's a crowd next door. They wanted us to know that that crowd has ordered food to be served for them, and the food is out, but it's not for us. But you can order food from Greg B, who's at the back tending the bar tonight. Plus, great wine and other non-alcoholic drinks, terrific coffee, tea, and a number of other items if you want something to drink. So I thought we would start by raising our glasses to Nish and Angst for hosting us tonight. Thank you. Cheers. Also, the restrooms are located in Niche 1 Art Bar. You will go through the arched red doors at the back next to where Greg is tending bar. And as you go through, there'll be a counter on your left. You'll make a quick left, and the restroom is right there. So you know where that is. And that's probably all the business that I have. If you haven't signed up to read, be sure to grab one of us so that you can do so. We have a pretty full list tonight. We also have some books on the podium up here that a couple of them are instructional, some of them are anthologies, and there are some journals, and they are free for the taking. We usually bring books to give out at our readings or at our workshops. So, if you'd like one of those, make it yours and take it home. Chris Luna, come on up.
I am Tony Cardington's co-host. So I'm going to try to make this as short a story as possible, but I'm involved in a venture that's called Crowd the Book. It hasn't exploded yet, but it's one of those really great ideas that we're hoping will take off. And it's basically a thing where we're trying to support small presses and small press authors by having a different book of poetry or prose from a small press every month, and you can sign up to be basically like part of a book club. And during the month that book is being featured, there are interviews with the poets, sometimes web chats and things like that. And it's just a way to really get the word out about some of these great small presses that we have around the country, because my partner in this is in North Carolina. And our featured reader, one of our featured readers tonight, Stephanie Lennox, was our one of our first authors. And I wanted to start tonight by reading the author from this month. Her name is Shunyi Pai. She's been really rocking. I think this might be like her 6th or 8th book. This book also includes photographs by Shunyi, and those photographs are pretty great. So this is, I'm in the middle of moving, and that's why, but that's why I chose this poem, which is by Shunyi, which is called Gleaners. Her partner regards her attempts at harvesting as one step closer to diving into dumpsters for secondhand sustenance. The apples my friend rescues from the city sidewalk where her neighbor's crop goes ungathered are lumpy and rough, not worth a cent, by any market standard, even in another land. Fodder offered up to pigs and dogs, this offering she yields, to pare away the rind to such crisp sweetening beneath. So it's called Crowd the Book. The original concept was if you sign up, you can either get a book of poetry every other month, or if you sign up for year-round, you would get poetry alternating with prose. We've already broken that, and we've had 2 poetry books in a row. So I think it's going to be whoever we can find who wants to be promoted in this way. But anyway, check it out at crowdthebook.com, see if that's something you would like to do. Last month at Cover to Cover, our regular location, we had so many people that there were 3 people on the list who did not get to read. We ran out of time. So we let those people know that we would be beginning with them this time. And one of those people is someone who's read for us before and we really enjoyed it. Just finished his 2nd novel, which is a pretty great accomplishment. Please welcome Johnathan Kendall.
As Christopher said, I'm Jonathan. I've been working on the second novel for a while, but this one is coming out November 4th, so I'm just going to share a little bit of it. Maybe I'll read. It doesn't really need an introduction. I met my grandma north of Phoenix. I don't particularly know what she does all day except clean the same few spots over and over again. She has a nice little car and drives around playing bingo and the slot machines at the local casinos. But it makes sense somehow. She's all alone. My grandpa is dead. His death wasn't all that big of a deal to me at the time. He had been slowly wasting away for a few years and asked for the whole family to come see him, presumably before he died. See, upon retirement and inconveniently upon my birth, he and my grandma moved to Arizona to get away from the Michigan winters and mine for gold. They would have been better suited for the 19th century, I do believe. They would send me pieces of gold for my birthday from 1,000 miles away in a car or something, as if their photographs were bigger than their hugs. I only saw them a few times a year, so maybe a dozen or so times in my entire life. When my grandpa was dying, we all flew down to Arizona to see him. We were the last ones from the family to do so, as all my cousins and other uncles and such had already visited that same year. My dad cooked my grandpa's favorite meal that night, scallops and potatoes. Grandpa couldn't really eat all that well with his crusty mouth and swollen tongue. And he was still yelling about politics and the goddamn government and the goddamn women all ruining everything, but we all just smiled at him, almost nostalgic for his anger. And he died that night. My mom told me at the time that he chose to die, that he had been waiting until he could see all his family and eat one last great meal, but I remember hearing him a room away that night, and he was not choosing to die. He was fighting for his life and being an atheist and not wanting to go into the blackness. He called out for his wife, and she told him it would be okay, but it wouldn't be okay, and my dad stood over him, and I heard the whole thing, really, although I pretended to be asleep when my mom woke me up and told me to come into the living room. I don't remember how old I was, but I do remember writing a poem about death in general, and wanted to read it at his funeral, but I was too young and didn't have anything to say that anyone else wanted to hear. So my grandma has been alone since then. We tell her to move near us, but she enjoys the weather in the desert more than her family, or so I tell myself when I'm lonely. I do love her in a real way, not just because I should. She's had a hard life and did everything she could do to provide for her family and just survive the way her generation did so eloquently, as if their dreams were manifest so long as food was on the dinner table. She lives in a retirement community where everyone has to be over 60 or something. It's off this empty highway with an abandoned railroad next to it. It's mostly widows by now, she told me. They have breakfast with each other real early in the morning and spruce up the mobile homes and RVs for fun. They all can afford better, but they don't need better. The bigger the house, the more empty space. And the emptier the space, the more they realize they are alone. I jumped out the car to give her a great big hug and was surprised at how small she was. I had to bend down quite a ways for her arms to stretch up towards my shoulders. She smiled a really wonderful and full smile upon seeing me, the way grandmas do sometimes. It's an older version of a smile, I think. Smiles have evolved with technology and new worries, like what kind of cell phone we have. But the old smile isn't distracted by all that modern thought. For grandmas, there is just a table with food and a grandchild, great big hug. I asked her about our family and about our history and what my dad was like and when he was young and why she moved to Arizona and what grandpa was like and where we all come from. You come from Kentucky hillbillies, she said, with a sly smile. See how far we've come, she meant. So my grandma and I talked for the first time. We've conversed and danced, smiled and held hands, but we've never talked, not like adults. And so as the stories rolled from her tongue, she felt like those sages passed, captivating my every thought. And so she went on, Mark Twaining tales of dirt floors, coal mines, fire-roasted game, train jumping, rugged clothes, torn shoes, red hair, blue eyes, sweated brows, and a plural of love. She told me I come from the Civil War and hand-me-downs, that graduating high school wasn't quite possible. She told me that men went to war and the women loved them, Everyone has advice. Comedians today are crude. When you get old, you know who you are, and you know what you like. It's nice to hear your voice. It's nice to see you. You should visit more often, and I'm sad to see you go. So I realize now that I prosper only because I can. I hope wildly because I am allowed to. I dream big because I sleep well at night. I believe because I am comfortable in my own skin. I live because she struggled before me. And so true are her words, even calling them lies but insult.
Thanks, John. There's so many things to think about when you're in a different location. It's easy to forget announcements and things. One thing that I need to announce is that Tiffany Burbashram is here tonight, and she is videotaping, and so we thought we would just do a sort of general announcement about that, and let us know when you come up to the mic if you would not like to be in the camera, and she will turn it off. So we'll do kind of a reverse, kind of a reverse in there. I have a feeling that we've got a lot of hams out here, and most of them probably are okay with being in camera, but we'll see. Let's see what happens. So we got, of those people that we were not able to get to last time, there's one other, and so I want to invite him up next, and that would be one of Portland's greatest writers and our friend, Dennis McBride.
Wasn't ready for that. Embarrassing when your ego goes in the direction of public. I'll just talk short pieces. For those of you who've been on long-term therapy and medication, keep your hands down. Okay, this will work. I read this once a year because it's about August. It's the only month I can read it. I don't have any use for August, really. It's called Vertigo at the County Fair. It was the rinse and spin cycle of life. Horseshoers with beards and suspenders, mountain men who couldn't keep the wolf from the door, so just kept shoeing and moving on. There was an exhibit of pygmy goats next to the booth with the Republican Party, and baby Republicans hugging their iron teddy bears, and voodoo cows like 800-pound valiums unattached to their blue ribbons, and a small pen of dazed, glassy-eyed sheep not knowing who to follow where. Over the rodeo, Marlboro men and women gone mad for taking the S-curve of Le Mans at 140 miles an hour on wild bulls, putting their horses in four-wheel drifts around barrels. I left looking for real courage, pharmaceutical salesman with a Prozac and Viagra booth. Real courage was rare, it wasn't there. But smack in the middle, too good to be true, was life everlasting. The vinyl siding display right next to the pro-life booth. Slipped the collective unconscious going. This was better than a UFO, Bigfoot, encounter group and a Baptist prayer meeting combined. Next to the restroom inside a booth with a large sign that read, "Are you going to heaven?" 2-question test reveals the answer is that an old, respectful couple like a stoic gospel gossip. I wanted to show my cards and raise them once. This is heaven. Where do we go from here? But I didn't want a chance coming cement to loose gravel on such a nice day. I was at the edge of the fairground in 2 small spaces with the Democratic booth next to the Alliance for the Mentally Ill, who were handing out iris bulbs to plant. I wanted to get one to plant, but didn't because I couldn't tell which end of the bulb was up. And it would have impressed me to think of that poor iris growing down into the darkness away from the sun. I wanted to get this into a poem, and I tried, but I couldn't do it. The fair was just too big for a poem. There was a booth for everything but the blind making love. Everything but that God fuck everyone was in search of that we all came for. It was only fair. It's called Eulogy for Partial Elegy for Bob Longo. It's 3 a.m. and I'm practicing dying again. I would practice living, but there's no future in it. Foreigners turned as bad as politics, and Bob just lost his job. I might as well write. The mysteries of science are against happiness, and the secret lives of great writers are among the savages. See if you can find that playing in Peoria or buried in the Northern Anthology. Still, the basketballs keep bouncing even if they're all the wrong regions of being. Meaning treks to Tony's Tavern and the cow's face can't be erased. Hell, I saw a used condom laying right next to a dandelion delight last week. Besides, with all the dumbness in this intelligent design, the signal that alerts the brain's pee could have easily been missed and we'd all be wearing diapers. Have a nice day. This is called grievance. I don't really see why we can't have sex every hour, or at least every other. Do you? Either run-of-the-mill horse and carriage love of sex, or the ill-conceived transcendent tantric sex, or that difficult-to-achieve walking down the Lake Cricket summer evening Texas road, slow, sweet fuck, even bottom-of-the-barrel straight stage kaboom sex, and then afterward, the absolutely still, utterly quiet, intense calm, the crickets hushed on the bridge above Stewart Fork Creek. Yeah, there, God, skinny dip right there. And it's all still there. They're waiting for what? For everyone sober and drunk to see it. The field of lost golden poppies. The field of lost golden poppies is not for sale. It's not 99 cents. It is not marked down on sale. The field of lost golden poppies is not 2 for 1, or buy 2, get the third free. There are no tickets to the field of lost golden poppies. There is no tax and no discounts. The field of lost golden poppies in spring will not cheat you. You cannot rob the field of lost golden poppies in spring. You cannot slip the field of lost golden poppies in spring a 5 or a 10. The field of lost golden poppies in spring is not available for prepay or layaway. The field of lost golden poppies in spring will never be 99 cents. And the last one. A few things I know for sure. Life is a fucking miracle. A tornado, slow motion tornado, and a penal colony for poets. 2, God is a serial killer. 3, if you can rise above it and get on with your life, you are only marginally there. 4, the higher chakras are fine, the lower divine. 5, it's important to be proactive about failure if you're going to succeed at it. 6, only hypochondriacs really know they're alive. 7, reality is a base camp at the summit of imagination. 8, when prostitutes can arrest policemen for patrolling, you have a social contract worth signing. 9, an existentialist is just a Christian who didn't have an invisible playmate as a child. 10, the ETs and mothership are laughing their ass off. Thank you.
Are people able to hear in the back? How are things going so far?
Make sure they speak into the mic.
Yeah, this is the kind of mic you want to get intimate with, which means you'll be getting intimate with everybody else at the mic, and that's just how it goes. It's a one big happy family here, right? Actually, at the moment, I'm about as close as I can get without my lips touching it, so you can get pretty close and pretty loud without actually having to, you know. And so, because poems are songs and songs are poems, when there are musicians in the house, they are welcome to contribute to the Ghost Town Poetry Open Mic, and we have Kevin, who's going to come up and do a song for us. Please welcome Kevin.
So I was not at all expecting to play tonight. I just came to watch my friend Johnathan do something. Because I rarely get to come. Because I am a musician and actually my gig got cancelled tonight. So I decided to come out and have a glass of wine. My name is Chemical, so I'm the Vancouver ukulele guy. I'm going to play an original song. This one is called Her. make her mind switch you to me. I feel hypnotizing, and I want to build a ladder to the clouds above, so I can be close to her, close to her. And I tell all my friends that I'm in love, 'cause I want her. I want her. To the clouds above, so I can be close to her, close to her. And I tell all my friends that I'm in love, 'cause I want her. And I want her. And I want her. To the clouds above, so I can be close to her, close to her. And I tell all my friends that I'm in love, 'cause I want her. I want her.
August 29th, top shelf. So if you feel like listening to some more little music. Thanks again. My name is Kevin Close.
You'll be playing this evening at Dublin Down at 9 o'clock. I'm not encouraging anyone to leave early because it's still going. Come and hear some music after the reading. That's a possibility. Greg asked me to mention, I'm paraphrasing this, this is my way of putting it. There's one of Greg and there's about 40 of us. So if you order something and you don't get it or you don't get it quickly enough, don't be shy about going back and reminding Greg. He's doing the best that he can, but that's a tall order, and he's fabulous. But he wanted me to let you know, don't be shy about letting him know if it's been a little while and you didn't get what you asked for.
Hey, Greg.
Yeah, that's great. Since it's my habit of embarrassing people from the mic, if you don't know Greg B, you should know that he is Leah's right-hand man. He is a great artist who is part of Venice Gallery, so you can, on many occasions during the year, see some of his art, and he is also responsible for a lot of what goes on here. It takes a lot of hard work to make a gallery this great, and these great shows come together every month, and I know that Leah would allow me to speak for her in saying that she can't do without Greg, so he's great. We're glad he's here. Okay, so next we're going to hear from one of our regulars, Rhonda Grace.
Okay. I think I'm eating the mic. I think. Well, I like to write poetry from topics like nature or just a number of things. But I think I really like to write about sexy hot things. So hence, this next poem is called Smoking Hot. You are hot, like chili peppers in salsa. You're a kick-ass kind of girl. Don't take no shit, like bullshit layered on bagel. You're hot, smoking hot. Hot like coals beneath bare feet.